Okay, in this performance study, we're going to be looking at a chord progression that goes through 4 different key centers. Before we looked at switching between 2 key centers, now we're going to look at switching between 4. Sounds like a lot, can be very overwhelming, but the idea is to really keep your ideas musical, simple, and work on development as opposed to trying to blaze technique over it. Eventually it would be great to get to that level, but really that's not the point of what this performance study is about. So the chord progression here that we're looking at is a C minor 7 chord, and this chord progression goes down in minor thirds. So it goes from C minor 7 to A minor 7, and then from A minor 7 to F sharp minor 7, and then from there it goes and finishes on E flat minor 7, and then it goes back around again. So how do we tackle all of these chord and key changes? Well, anytime I see a minor 7 chord, I automatically convert that to Dorian in my mind, so that I know that I can look at either playing Dorian or minor pentatonic. That's probably the best place to start, would be minor pentatonic. So in the beginning part of a solo, I start basically building around C minor, right around that particular pentatonic scale, and that note is basically just coming from the B flat major scale. And then I go to an A minor arpeggio, and then I go and resolve to an F sharp. So this covers 3 different changes: C minor, and then A minor, and then we go from that F sharp minor. After covering that, we go to the E flat minor, which is essentially D flat major. And we'll resolve back into C minor. It's also a good idea to, you can practice, moving those key changes around without the backing track first, so just you can kind of visualize it on the fretboard. Sometimes that's what I do. If I have trouble with that, I can go back to just, freeing myself of the constraints of the backing track and just kind of freely play through the key changes and look at ways that I might be able to, resolve some of those notes, and that might make it a little more sensible. So the other thing to look at that's very important is work on developing ideas through your key changes. Not only is trying to go from top to bottom, whether you're playing a line, but you also want to look at certain ideas, harmonic ideas. So if you have an idea that is centered around C minor, I might look for neighboring notes here that are going to resolve it to A minor. And then I can go into F sharp. Then to E flat, and then eventually back around to C minor. So you can take little ideas. work with. and that this way, you know, you when you have a musical idea, you're able to take it and work it around different keys without having to change everything that you're doing every time the chord changes to a different chord. You're not stopping and, oh, well, I got to go over here and try something else. Likewise, when you're working with a line, it's good to visualize on the fretboard as far as going through C minor. We can, you know, like, I'll just give you an example of what I might do. If I was looking at modal playing, it would be like, you know, B flat major to A minor or A Dorian to E major to D flat major to back to C minor. And really, it takes a lot of practice to get to that point. You have to start with very slow lines and practicing what I call, you know, super slow-mo practicing. And, you know, it gives your brain a chance to really, you know, think about where it's going to go, because if you don't have that neural pathway developed, it takes a while to develop it because you don't know it yet. So you can start with simple stuff like this, really slow. And just work it that way, as you know, as opposed to trying to take too much and do a whole lot with it. Take a very slow approach to it, and be real methodical with it as well. So, so those are some really, you know, interesting ways that you can make a forward chord key change work for you in a more fusion-esque way, as opposed to you know, trying to blaze lines over it. So, you know, work on slow, you know, motif development, super slow-mo practicing. You can work with it without the backing track first, then bring the backing track back into it again, and you know, pull the tab up. You know, look at those ideas again. Look at the chord structures. You know, remember, using some of those chords can provide you a roadmap to work your way around key changes that are difficult as well. So pull those tabs up, have at it, have fun with it, and good luck.